What about the fourth dimension?
What if there's another world next to ours that we can't see? Neil deGrasse Tyson said one movie got this exactly right.
In the movie Monsters, Inc., those doors were four-dimensional portals. That's a wormhole. That is what access to the fourth dimension looks like.
Carl Sagan described exactly this 40 years ago.
He has mysteriously appeared from nowhere. He's come from some other place.
A world right next to ours. Same space, but a dimension we can't see until something crosses between them.
This point just appeared out of nowhere. Oops, now the whole thing disappeared. This would be completely freaky to a two-dimensional being. But it makes complete sense if you live in 3 dimensions and you pass a sphere through my universe.
From one side, it looks like magic. From the other, it's just physics finding a crack. In Road to Nocturna, that crack is a rupture in a mountain rock. And the girl on the other side is Aylin. I'm building this trilogy completely in public. Every character, every decision, out in the open. You may have already met him. Today, you meet her. Every great story has a hero, but the hero rarely changes themselves. They need someone, a special kind of character, whose entire presence redirects them. Not by telling them what to do, just by being everything they're not. That's Aylin's role, and one of the hardest characters in any story to design. So, let me show you who Aylin is. She's the one who steps towards what she's meant to do, even when the cost is everything. That's her defining trait. Her design must show someone who makes the hardest choice and never looks back. That is what drives Aylin in this story. The stance is the first way to show this. Feet planted, bow ready, eyes forward. It doesn't look like she's performing. She's well-trained and resilient. She channels energy from the forest itself. Her village calls it Rizona, the living energy that flows through every tree, every breath of wind. And the way she's trained, you don't get to look uncertain. You don't get to second guess. And that pendant, a dying stranger's last wish, thrust into Aylin's hands with a panicked, mysterious message. It channels surges of Rizona, the same energy she wields. The arrows on her back, handcrafted from sylvan wood. The one she's holding, same arrow, but look, Aylin channels Rizona through the arrow itself, shaping the energy as she draws with focus, freezing on contact, tracking mid-flight. She reads the situation, adapts in real time, always one step ahead. And if you've seen Max's intro, you can see how these two are destined to be on a collision course. Every iconic archer in great stories shares one thing. Legolas, Katniss, Merida. The bow is never about aggression. It's about precision, patience, and distance. You see the target before it sees you. You never fight up close. That's not a weapon choice. That's a personality encoded in an object. Aylin doesn't react blindly. She reads, she waits, and she adapts. She's already moving towards the solution before anyone else has even seen the problem. Have you ever been told you weren't ready for something? Not because you lacked talent, but because you hadn't earned the right to know it yet. That's the entire philosophy of Aylin's world. You master your immediate skills, your immediate environment. Then your circle expands. More knowledge, more territory, more responsibility. Like ranking up in martial arts. Her training isn't just combat drills. It's learning to shape Rizona itself. Shields, freezing techniques, different arrow functions, all in combination with the flora around her. The bow isn't just a weapon, it's an extension of her connection to everything in her world. When I started designing Aylin's world, I kept coming back to one question. What if the forest itself was alive with light? Nature already does this, and Avatar showed us what happens when you amplify it. Bioluminescent nature as a living ecosystem. How to Train Your Dragon took that idea and made it a hidden sanctuary, a world within a world that only reveals itself when you're meant to find it. And Miyazaki showed us that hidden beneath corruption, nature's sacred spaces glow with their own light. That's the feeling I wanted. Not just a dark forest, a forest that breathes with light. where every step Aylin takes, the ground responds. Where Rizona, that living energy she channels, isn't just a concept, it's visible. So I started building environments inspired by that philosophy. Layers of bioluminescence, depth through light, living atmosphere. You may have seen where Max comes from. Sharp angles, fluorescent lights, concrete and control. Aylin's world, living light. Now, let's put Aylin in her world. This is her world for now. Drawing Aylin's portrait was the opposite challenge for Max. Max hides everything. Aylin has to show everything, including what it's costing her. How do you draw someone who's fully present but carrying weight underneath? The hardest part was the eyes. Open, present, but underneath, the weight of someone who keeps choosing presence, even when presence hurts. Here's why. Early in the story, a destructive force begins spreading through the forest. She calls it the Blight, dark corruption that consumes everything it touches. And Aylin's connection to Rizona, the living energy flowing through her world, means she doesn't just watch it spread. She feels it. The people she's trained with, the forest she lived in her entire life, the animals, when the Blight touches them, she feels it happening, like losing a signal one by one. And she has a choice. She can disconnect and protect herself from the pain. There's a technique, dimming the connection and pulling back. But the very thing that makes her the most powerful is her connection to everything around her. Disconnect, and she loses that too. So she has to choose over and over throughout the story, feel everything and stay strong, or protect herself and fight at half strength. The eyes in this portrait, she's choosing presence. That's not weakness, that's her entire fight. But there's one last step. Time to put Aylin in the glass box. Aylin, the girl who trained her entire life for a moment no one could prepare her for. But there's someone else in this story, someone who's been watching them both. He's known as the Seer, and he sees things neither of them can. And if you haven't seen Max's story yet, that's where this all begins. Links right here.